Hello everyone, this is Sandhya. I'm back with another chapter. Today we will continue with India and the contemporary world 2 of class 10th, and the chapter which we will discuss is the making of a global world part 1. Dear children, history is an essential subject as it constitutes a crucial subject of social science. History is a theoretical subject, so we need to write excellent answers. Scoring good marks in history is vital as scoring in other subjects. So I have covered all the concepts in this session. You can score more marks in your history exam by go through this video lecture and gain marks. Let us move on to the topic. Dear children, globalization means integration of markets in the global economy, leading to the increased interconnectedness of national economies. By having an idea of this history of globalization, we can understand the causes which led to such social and economic changes. The 19th century industrial revolution was one of the significant periods in the history of globalization. Let us move on to the topic. Today's our topic, the making of a global world. Dear children, this chapter, the making of a global world, explains how globalization has its effect on the world as well as Indian economy. This session helps you to get a brief overview of all the concepts. Let us discuss about the pre-modern world. Human societies have steadily more interlinked travelers, traders, priests, and pilgrims travelers vast distances for carrying goods, money, ideas, skills, inventions, and even germs and diseases. Dear children, in olden times, travelers, merchants, and priests and pilgrims travel to far off distances for knowledge, opportunity, and spiritual fulfillments. These people use it to carry along goods, money, values, skills, ideas, inventions, and sometimes diseases also. Not only this, they also took various foods and cultural habits with them to the different places that resulted in the diversity of culture. The movement of goods and people can be traced back to 3000 before Christ, where one can find the coastal trade links of the Indus Valley civilization with the present day West Asia. During that period, the currency used for carrying out trade activities was called as seashells. The trade links can be found between Maldives to China and East Africa. Even the spread of diseases can be traced as far back as the 17th century. So now we know that people, their skills, diseases, and many other things were being transferred with them from one place to another for various trade links. Now we will discuss the Silk Route that linked the world. The Silk Route were regarded as the most important route linking the distant parts of the world. Routes were existed even before the Christian era and flourished till the 15th century. Dear children, the Silk Routes serves as a good example of the pre-modern trade and cultural links between the different parts of the world. Our historians have found out various Silk routes over land and through the sea. These routes were linked with the vast regions of Asia, Europe, and Northern Africa. It is believed that these routes existed since before the Christian era and flourished till the 15th century. Not only silk, but the Chinese pottery also traveled the same route. Similarly, the textiles and spices from India and Southeast Asia went to different parts. In return, the expensive metals like gold and silver moved from Europe to Asia. Youth like trade, there was crucial exchange also. Various Christian, Muslim, and Buddhist preachers went to different parts and spread into different parts of the Asia. As trade and culture traveled from one place to another, so the food material also. Let us discuss about food travels. Various food items of the world sometimes share common origins. For example, spaghetti and noodles. I think, dear children, you know very well about noodles and spaghetti. This food is also a great example of cultural exchange. Now, crops were introduced to different places through traders and travelers. Various food items of the world sometimes share common origins. Take for example spaghetti and noodles. The belief about the noodles is that traveled from China to West and became spaghetti. Some even say that pasta was taken to island in Italy by the Arabs. Not only the specific ones, but even potatoes like maize and groundnuts, tomatoes, chilies, and sweet potatoes were introduced in Europe and Asia after the discovery made by Christopher Columbus. These foods were only introduced in Europe and Asia after Christopher Columbus accidentally discovered the vast continent that would later become known as the America. Children, so we can say that most of our common foods came from America's original inhabitants, the American Indians. Potatoes, being cheap, became an essential food for the poor of Europe. The same poorest peasants became so dependent on them that most of them died when the crop failed in the mid 1840s. Dear children, the crisis cross of various cultures and people also resulted in the transfer of diseases. So, we can say that the pre-modern world saw the transfer of various elements of human society that also led to conquest and flourishing of trade. Dear children, let us discuss about diseases and trade. Dear children, in 16th century, after European sailors found a sea route to Asia and America, the Indian subcontinent had been known for trade with goods, people, customs, and knowledge. It was a crucial point in their trade network. Dear children, the 16th century, the European sailors found a sea route to Asia and later on succeeded to cross the Western Ocean to reach America. Before this, for many centuries, the Indian Ocean was a famous trading center. The Indian subcontinent was the center of exchange of goods, people, knowledge, customs, etc. Later, the entry of Europeans led to the flow of all things towards Europe. America remained unknown to the world for millions of years. Each discovery in the 16th century led to the beginning of trade of its minerals and crops. Your children, valuable metals, especially silver, for mines of present day Peru and Mexico increased the wealth of the Europe that financed its trade with Asia. Dear children, as these expeditions gain popularity in order to explore more trade and wealth centers, not only these rumors and imaginations also became common. So, in the 17th century, many expeditions set off in search of the city of gold. Soon, various powers like the Portuguese and the Spanish started colonizing America in order to enhance their trade and increase their wealth. But conquering was not always done with the use of arms, but it also happened because of the spread of diseases, same as like now our carnivorous COVID-19. Yes, it is true. In the context of Spanish conquest, who took germs of smallpox with them to America? The native were not immune to deadly disease. This resulted in the death of a large number of Native Americans and found a way of establishing Spanish control over the place. Until the 19th century, poverty and hunger became a common problem in Europe. Not only this, cities became crowded and there was an outbreak of deadly disease. Religious disputes became common and people were persecuted. Various people left Europe from America. During the 18th century, slaves were captured to work in the sugar and cotton plantations to be sold into the European markets. If we talk about China and India during the 18th century, both of these countries were the richest countries in the world. They were the leading countries in the Asian trade, but it is also said that during the 15th century, China restricted its overseas trade with resulted in declining of its importance in the trade world. America gradually gained an important position in the trade market and this led to the moving of the center of the world trade westwards. Europe soon rose to be center of the world trade. Dear children, so now that we know about the pre-modern time in which the trade began within the different continents, let's see what new changes were experienced in the 19th century. Dear children, during the 19th century, various economic, political, social, and cultural factors led to the change of the societies and the external relations. In the 19th century, the three types of flow between the international economics were noticed. What are those labors and the migration of the people in search for work and movement of capital for short and last term investment over long period of time. These three flows were interconnected in a way that affected the life of people in a deeper way than before. These interconnections were sometimes interrupted. For example, labor migration was generally restricted as compared to the capital flows. These flows resulted in the shaping of the world economy. But how this happened, dear children? Now let us discuss about flow resulted in the shaping of the world economy. Abolition of the corn law. Under pressure from landowners groups, the government restricted the import of goods grains. Dear children, to start with this, let's talk about food first. During the 18th century, the demand of the food grains increased in Britain. It was so because of the huge population of Britain. As the cities came up, and the industrial sector grow, the demand for the food grains went up and so the price of the food grains rised. The British government put restrictions on the import of goods due to the pressure by the various land groups. Such laws came to be known as the Corn Law. This led to the increase in food price. The industrialists and the urban residents were unhappy because of this and hence forced the government to abolish the Corn Law. Dear children, so the government abolished the corn laws in Britain. This led to the import of cheap corn into the country, creating a tough competition for the corn growers. Soon, it was found that the land were left uncultivated because growing corn in Britain was not profitable business anymore. This led to the unemployment of laborers as they were thrown out of the work. Hence, these people were forced to move to the cities and the different countries for work. Now, later on the food prices fell and the consumption of the same increased in Britain. Dear children, let us discuss about food prices in Britain. By 1890s, a global agriculture economy came into being. It was accompanied by the various types of labor movement patterns, capital flows, ecologies and technology. Dear children, from the mid 19th century, the rapid industrial growth increased the income of Britain. So, now Britain could import more food. Around the world, in Eastern Europe, Russia, America and Australia, lands were cultivated food to export it into Britain. Not only the lands were cleared, but railway lines were also laid and new harbors were built to link the agricultural regions. Soon, people had to get settled on lands in order to cultivate them. Therefore, the need of building homes and settlements arose. For this, there was a huge need for finance and labor. This led to flow of capital from London and supply of labor in America and Australia. Such a situation led to the migration about 50 million people from Europe to America and Australia in the 19th century. It is estimated that about 150 million people around the world left their homes for the better future. So, by 1890s, the global agricultural economy came into being. It was accompanied by the various types of labor movement patterns and capital flows, ecological and technology. So, now food didn't come from a nearby village or town but from a far off distances. The agricultural workers started working on the land and all the agricultural regions were linked by the railways, ports, etc. The ships which took the food grains were generally managed by low paid workers from southern Europe, Asia, Africa and some other places. All these changes were also observed in the West Punjab but on a similar scale. The British government developed the canal system in order to transform a semi-desert area into fertile lands. It was done so in order to grow cotton and wheat in order to export it. Not only food but cotton and rubber were also cultivated to be used by Britain. The production of these goods increased rapidly. Dear children, the world trade during 1820s, 1914s was estimated to have multiplied from 25 to 40 times. Around 60% of the trade comprised of primary products. For example, the agricultural products such as wheat, cotton and mineral like coal. Dear children, now we know about the role of agricultural products in shaping the world economy. Dear children, last but not least, succeeding in life is easy as long as you believe in yourself and trust yourself, and success will come along. Dear children, we know that due to COVID pandemic, the whole world is struggling. So, started video lectures. It is easy to connect with you all, and this will help us to cover syllabus and to maintain the flow of study. Dear children, you must take advantage of this opportunity. This video lecture helps in understanding the concepts easily. Already we discussed all important topics and concepts and dates. Dear children, please go through this video lecture again and again and try to understand the concept. Dear children, learning will continue even during this crisis. Stay tuned for more video lectures on social science. Keep learning, stay safe, have a nice day. Thank you.